I canceled the gym membership I'd been paying for my mother-in-law after her trainer told me she'd already switched to a boutique studio on my dime. So some background. My mother-in-law Diane has a bad knee. Like legitimately bad. She had a partial replacement 2 years ago and her doctor told her she needed to keep moving or the scar tissue would build up and she'd need a full replacement before she turned 65. My husband Marcus told me this in kind of a low voice, the way he does when he wants me to feel like I'm about to be asked something. Sure enough, 2 days later he says, "My mom can't really afford a gym membership right now. Would you be okay covering it for a few months?" A few months. I said okay. That was 14 months ago. I'm not gonna pretend I was thrilled about it the whole time. The membership was $62 a month at a basic 24-hour gym near her house, and I work as a dental hygienist, so it's not like $62 is nothing to me. But the knee thing was real, and Marcus's family doesn't have a lot of cushion, so I kept paying it. I never said a word about it. Not once. Diane knew I was paying. She'd text me sometimes after she went, just like, "Did the elliptical today? Knee feels good." I thought that was sweet, honestly. I liked that she was keeping me in the loop. Then around 2 months ago, the text stopped. I figured she was just busy. Marcus mentioned she'd been spending more time with her sister, who'd just gotten divorced. I didn't think anything of it. So here's where it gets weird. I'm at the gym myself on a Tuesday around 6 p.m. and I run into this guy named Trevor, who works there as a trainer. We'd chatted before a few times. Nothing major, just pleasantries. He sees me and says, "Hey, are you related to Diane by any chance? You have the same eyes." I said, "Yeah, she's my mother-in-law," and his whole face does this thing where he's trying to decide if he just said something he shouldn't have. He goes, "Oh, I was just wondering because I hadn't seen her in a while." I told him she'd been coming consistently, at least as far as I knew. He kind of tilted his head. She transferred to Elevate a couple months back. The studio on Birchwood. One of the other trainers here moved over there and she followed him. Then he caught himself and said, "Sorry, I figured you knew." I did not know. I drove home and sat in the parking lot for a few minutes before I went inside. Elevate is a boutique fitness studio. I looked it up on my phone right there in the car. Their basic membership is $140 a month. Their premium is $210. They have reformer Pilates and infrared saunas and a whole smoothie situation. Marcus was making dinner when I came in. I waited until he turned around. I said, "Does your mom go to Elevate now?" He didn't even hesitate. "What? No. She goes to the gym near her house. Her trainer told me she switched 2 months ago." He put the spoon down. He said he'd call her. He went into the bedroom and I heard the conversation in pieces, just his voice going from confused to quiet. He came back out about 10 minutes later and said his mom had switched because her trainer moved and she felt more comfortable following him somewhere she knew, and she'd been meaning to tell us. I said, "Who's paying for Elevate?" He was quiet for a second. "She said she's been putting it on the card and assumed you knew." I said, "Which card?" He said the joint card they have for family stuff. It's a card Marcus added her to years ago for emergencies. She'd been charging $14 a month to it for 2 months. On top of the $62 a month I was still sending to the original gym, which she hadn't canceled yet, probably because she wasn't the one paying for it. So I was paying $62 a month for a gym she wasn't going to, while she was also charging $140 a month to a card Marcus has tied to our joint account. That's $220 a month total. I told him I was canceling the original membership and that the Elevate membership needed to come off that card. He said his mom didn't have a lot of options and maybe we could help her with part of the cost. I said, "She didn't ask us, she just charged it." He said she was probably embarrassed to ask. I said, "She texts me every time she uses the elliptical. She's not embarrassed about anything. She made a choice and expected us to pay for it without telling us." He got quiet. I canceled the membership the next morning before work. Took like 4 minutes online. I texted Diane directly and said I'd canceled it and wanted to give her a heads up. She didn't respond all day. That evening she called Marcus, not me, and told him I'd humiliated her by cutting her off like that and she just wanted to do what was best for her recovery. Marcus came and found me after the call. He said his mom was really upset. I said, "Did she mention the 2 months she charged to our account without telling us?" He didn't say anything. I said, "I paid for 14 months without complaining once. She switched gyms, didn't tell me, kept taking the money, and charged a second membership on top of it. I'm not covering that." He sat there for a second and then said he guessed I had a point. She sent me a long text the next morning about how hard her recovery has been and how she just wanted to feel like herself again and she thought since I was already helping, this was the same kind of help. I didn't respond. She's been cold to me ever since, but she got herself a membership at a third place that she's paying for herself.